Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Monday. If you are inside of Patreon, if you are outside of Patreon, it is Wednesday. And why the hell are you not in Patreon? Okay, it is $6. You get access to the early episodes. I post some content that is not posted inside of or on Instagram or TikTok or anything. And then we also have our lives that are scheduled inside of Patreon. So make sure that you join today. It is $6 again to join now. Okay, I have a very important email that I want to read, guys. And this is going to be the primary focus of our episode because it is a lengthy one. Okay, it says, I have been reporting ongoing harassment from my supervisor to HR for nearly a year. The issues began with my supervisor falsely accused me of not completing a document. I was able to provide proof to upper management, specifically the director, that the task had in fact been completed and my supervisor had misrepresented the situation. The following month, I approached my supervisor with a question about an assignment. She responded by cursing at me. That was the point at which I first formally reported the behavior to HR. Unfortunately, the behavior did not stop. My supervisor continued to make inappropriate and aggressive comments towards me. Most recently, during a meeting with the director present, my supervisor brought up the use of my FMLA. She claimed that she believed I was using my FMLA frequently to avoid work. I explained that the use of my FMLA was to care for my child, and then she suggested that I contact EAP, and I reported the issue to HR. As I felt her comments about my FMLA were inappropriate and discriminatory, HR told me that they would address the issue, and shortly after, my time reporting was reassigned to another director. In addition, my supervisor has commented on other personal matters, such as when my car broke down and I requested to work from home. She said, I always have emergencies, implying a pattern. I asked her to clarify what she meant, and she began to backtrack. I brought this up to HR as well, explaining that I believe she was again referencing the use of my FMLA, but HR responded that I could not assume, that's exactly what I was about to say, that because she did not mention my FMLA directly. Since reporting these issues, the work environment has become increasingly hostile. The director is now micromanaging me, requiring me to log all of my tasks and constantly questioning my productivity. For example, she frequently claims that my Microsoft Teams status was away for 30 minutes to an hour and suggests that I was not working, even though I was engaged in job-related activities such as attending webinars or watching training videos. I've explained that Teams does not always accurately reflect activity when participating in Zoom or Zoom calls or trainings, but this explanation has been dismissed. It has become increasingly clear that after each report I make to HR, particularly regarding my FMLA rights, my work performance is scrutinized and criticized in ways that I feel are retaliatory. Nearly every recent meeting with leadership has involved negative feedback, and the work environment has become very difficult and stressful. I don't know what to do at this point. I feel like they are trying to get rid of me. What should I do? Your feeling is right. They are definitely trying to get rid of you. And let me tell you, let's go back to the top, because I want to address some things. Number one, you said that you made a report following ongoing harassment, okay, from your supervisor. And there have, these things that you have reported, I think you have been reporting them one at a time. And you remember we talked about making sure that we report all of these things all at once so that you reflect a pattern of behavior of retaliatory action. Now, your HR department is stupid as hell. They are very stupid. This is probably the most incompetent group of HR professionals I have received an email about because there are several things that can get this company caught up in a lawsuit. Number one, Your boss retaliating against you immediately after you reported her ass, that is something that can immediately get flagged. Immediately. Like, that's like an obvious sign that that's exactly what she's doing, because she led into micromanaging and scrutinizing you, cursing at you. Cursing at you creates a hostile work environment, which is also something that people can sue about. Okay. Then the questioning of your use of FMLA, that is none of her fucking business. Of why you're taking off, why you have this situation, what is going on. That is none of her fucking business. And she cannot inquire or ask what you are doing because you have FMLA. Period. The end. So she is using whatever situation y'all may have had. I'm not sure, because I don't have a lot of background as to what exactly happened between you and her before the relationship kind of went south. But she is using something, right, as her point to try to attack you like this. And it is not allowed for her to question your use of FMLA. And I'm sure that if you went back through your company policy handbook, they communicate the rules and regulations surrounding FMLA. Also, when your car broke down, you should not have said a damn thing to her, because of all the other things that she's trying to come at you about, right? So that was one thing that I did not agree with you on, is that I do not think you should have told her that your car broke down and then you requested to work remote. That is something that you really cannot necessarily do, okay? Because if your job requires you to be at the office and none of your other team members are remote, then you have to be at the office, okay? Your car breaking down is your responsibility to have sustainable transportation. I'm just going to tell you the God honest truth. That's how I feel about that. Transportation are our responsibility, and we have to make sure that we have a car that can get us to and fro, okay? It is not your manager's job to make accommodations because your car is broken. Your body works, all right? There are different ways to get to work. I don't know your situation because you did not necessarily communicate that, but there are other methods to get back and forth to work. And while they may be expensive, it is required because you have to have a job, okay? That is the only thing that I see as an issue with your email. But your company, or this company in particular, is heading down a route of a lawsuit. And if I were you, I would communicate with an attorney. I definitely would. I told y'all about work receipts. Do y'all remember we talked about it? We had Sierra on the podcast last week, the CEO of Work Receipts, and she talked about how inside of the app, you log these situations, and then it connects you with an attorney or an employment attorney that's in your area. You may be able to sue because, number one, the HR department is negligent. They are having you work in an environment that is hostile. Cursing at you in the workplace for any reason is unnecessary and unbecoming of a manager. And they should not allow that type of inappropriate and aggressive behavior to continue to fester inside of the workplace. That is very dangerous. Okay, people who cannot control their emotions, of course, are going to become retaliatory because she cannot control her response as a manager. While I know we are all human, there are some things that you have to be in check of, and your emotions is one of them. If I were you, I would go through the Work Receipts app and I would immediately contact a fucking attorney. I am so serious. I would not sit here, and I would continue to log this information, but I would not even go back to HR. Like, after that first time and you saw that they didn't do anything to you, I would have contacted, or not to you, but for you, in defense of you towards this manager who is creating a hostile work environment, an aggressive work environment, inappropriate. Okay, managers, listen to me. Whether or not somebody is on FMLA, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? You need to act like whatever issue you got because you're mad this person is not coming to work, which that's what I really feel like it really is that she's mad that you have the ability to take off work. Your job is protected. or whatever. But that's why she's throwing all these other things in there, because if she can prove that you are not doing your job when you are present, that you are not being accountable when present, they can terminate you. So all she's doing is just building up something to say, or building up a case that she can use against you, despite you having FMLA. And please know that they can do that. They can still fire you even though you have FMLA. You are not protected 100%, right? You are protected in the fact that they cannot fire you because you are on FMLA. But they can fire you if you are not compliant with company rules, company regulations, whatever it is that your job, like the policies and everything that you have to follow. They can fire you for that. And that's why she's building this case up. And I wouldn't be surprised if HR is complicit, because it just doesn't seem like they are taking this situation very serious, because it can definitely put the company at risk. And HR's whole sole responsibility is to make sure that the company is doing things legally and following compliance, and also making sure that the team members, aka management, is not doing anything that is going to put the company at risk. So I agree with majority of everything that you are saying, that she is coming after you. She is trying to build a case. This is retaliatory behavior. Your manager is inappropriate, aggressive. Like, I agree 1,000%. I also think that we do not want to get caught slipping. And now that we know that they're trying to get rid of us, what are we going to do? We are going to, number one, start looking for another place to work. Okay? Even if you got to find a filler job, something that is going to get you out of here so that you are not caught up in the situation. Number two, we are going to make sure that we log these events inside of work receipts and contact an employment attorney immediately. Okay? If you can and you're struggling to find a job, save some money. Put some money up so that you are not caught in a situation. You said that you are using FMLA to take care of your child. So that means you are a caregiver. And that means that you need to have money coming through your home. So make sure that you have funds set aside. Okay? Y'all, do not get caught in these situations. We need to see exactly what it is. This is retaliatory behavior. If you have a big enough case, enough instances to show a behavior, enough situations to show negligence on HR's behalf, which is exactly what is happening, you can move forward with an attorney. You have to know that this behavior is not normal. Okay, there are a lot of people working in situations where HR is negligent, and we think that this is normal. This is not. This is not a normal functioning HR department. HR is not meant to focus or function like this. Okay. Unfortunately, it has become the norm because a lot of people are terrified of HR, and it really should not be that way. We have kind of created an environment where employees do not feel comfortable or they do not feel safe talking to HR, and that is terrible. That is a terrible thing. Like, we really have to take inventory right now. Management, upper management, senior administrators. We need to really start holding HR accountable, because you cannot have people working in situations like this and expect them to perform, expect them to be productive, expect them to do exactly what is asked, because you're creating a hostile work environment. How am I supposed to focus on my work if I'm constantly worried about my Teams button? When you know that I'm in this damn Zoom call, you know that I'm in this webinar, but I'm worried about my Teams call because of the ego of a manager. And they're trying to throw their weight around because they're mad for whatever reason, because this person has FMLA. It is just so stupid. This is so stupid, y'all. So if you are in HR, I really do hope that you take inventory to this email and realize what type of environment you are creating for your employees. Do better. Be more of an advocate, okay? I understand that you have a job. I understand that you have a responsibility, but there is a middle ground. It does not have to be one extreme or the other. You do not have to be extremely lenient, right? And you don't have to be extremely tyrannical. You don't have to do that. there is a medium. We can be in the middle. And that's where I think a lot of these situations, are created, is because we're trying to be either way too relaxed or way too tight in the workplace, and there isn't a middle ground where we can sit down and have a conversation. The behavior of the manager is 100% inappropriate, and she would have been fired under me 1,000%. When you told me that she cussed at you, her ass would have been up out of there, period. That is not how we talk to people. It's not. It's just not. It's not how we function. It's not how we communicate. It's not how we interact. That is not appropriate. It's not appropriate. And the veiled threats and I just do not like shit like that. It is so frustrating. People want to go to work and do their job. Nobody wants to be threatened by a manager or intimidated by a manager. Nobody wants that. And to see that this person had to write a full email telling us about how negligent her HR department is, her manager is an idiot. Like, this is just fucking ridiculous. And I really hope that those of us who are inside of HR are listening and we have the ability to make some changes that we can. Because whether we believe it or not, a lot of us do hold some influence. I know I do. And I influence how the company is ran. If I create an environment like that, all the managers are going to do that. All of the HR is going to do that if I create an environment that supports that. So we need to know what our weight is inside of these organizations. A lot of us do have the weight and space to change some of these environments. We just don't fucking want to because it's too much work to do that. So, baby, I really hope that this works out for you. But if I was you, I would sue these motherfuckers. You hear me? Sue them. They're not listening to your reports. They're not listening to your claims. Sue them. They will listen to a fucking judge inside of a courtroom. You understand me? Say yes. Thank you. All right, honey. Well, you have a good ass day. Everybody else, y'all have a good ass day. And remember what I said. If you have the ability to change the work environment, change it for the good. Okay, it's enough bad shit going on. It's enough bad actors going on or going around. We do not need more negative HR reports. We don't need more of that. We need people out here trying to do the work, honest work. Okay? Okay. Make sure y'all join Patreon. And we're going to be going live. I'll be dropping the live schedule. We're going to have to change our live schedule to once a month because I be busy. So I was at first able to do every week, but child, I can't do the every week lives. I have to do at least one out the month. So I'm going to schedule a 1 month live schedule for us, and it'll be like a set day, set time, so we can gather up all of our questions, all of our information that we need. If you have something that you want to be read on the podcast, you can send it to the email, which is the Mail Management Pod, or you can send it over to me inside of Patreon. I hope y'all have a good ass day. And please remember what I said. If you are on your way to work today, try to be a better person. Okay, please. Because I am so sick of seeing people being mistreated at fucking work. Like, we don't come to work for that. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good ass day. And I'll see y'all on the internet. Bye.